Today I have the Sketchboard Pro 2, an upgraded iPad stand for digital artists that's designed to make drawing more ergonomic, stable, and enjoyable. We're going to go over it next. Sketchboard Pro is made by Braintree House. Inside the box you'll find an instruction booklet. And for some reason, instead of kick-out legs, this one comes with drumsticks. Wait, Actually, they're still reinforced magnetic legs, and they're far more than just a lightweight tweak. We'll get to that. Version 1 was 19.5 inches by 17 inches, weighing at 4.5 pounds. Version 2 is slimmer and lighter all the way around, coming in at 17.25 inches by 15.75 inches, and it loses a pound of weight, coming in at 3.4 pounds, making it considerably more desk and lap friendly. Your iPad will sit in the middle of the Sketchboard Pro via the interchangeable magnetic cradle. Version 1 wasn't bad, it was just a little undersized, so if you had a non-standard Apple charging cable, you could have some problems. Version 2 rectifies this by having an opening that should fit most iPad charging cables. The back of the Sketchboard Pro is open, allowing for ventilation. There's a cutout for the iPad camera, 4 rubber feet for stability, and a handle up at the top for carrying. Version 1 had 4 molded pop-out legs, which did the trick but offered limited positions, and owners were concerned about the longevity of the plastic hinges. The magnetic legs solved that. They snap in instantly, lock firmly, and let you switch between multiple different positions. Speaking of, starting in the traditional landscape mode, with the legs in the topmost position, this is a low angle at about 20 degrees. If we slide the legs down a notch into the middle of the Sketchboard Pro, it'll give us a medium angle at about 30 degrees. This angle was not available in version 1. Next, we'll put the legs at the bottommost position. This will stand the Sketchboard Pro up into an easel mode at about 72 degrees. Great for all the digital painters out there. As we move into portrait, you're only going to get 2 positions here due to the lack of a middle position to put the magnetic legs in. Get a lower portrait tilt at about 18 degrees with the legs on the topmost position, and slide them down to the bottom will give you an easel portrait angle at about 70 degrees. Once again, perfect for digital painters. Storing the magnetic legs is easy. They slide into the grooves on the back of the Sketchboard Pro. Just be mindful that they're under these little grooves so they don't slip out on you. Another new improvement is your iPad will slip right into that magnet without the extra snug fit from version 1. The magnet in the cradle keeps it all in place. The groove to charge your Apple Pencil is large enough to accommodate even Paperlike's pencil grips, which I reviewed, and there's a link below. Finally, you now have left and right positions to hold your Apple Pencil. In an attempt to show you how much smaller the new Sketchboard Pro is, got side-by-side comparisons of me actually using the Sketchboard. Version 2 is 2.25 inches narrower and 1.25 inches shorter. This makes it considerably more desk and lap friendly. Shedding about 1.1 pounds, it's nearly 25% lighter. That makes it a lot more portable and less strain during transport without compromising durability. I found the reduced size just about right. It isn't like I thought the first version was too big, and if you just read about it, you might think that reduction in surface impacts the user experience. I felt exactly the opposite. Even though there was a compromise in real estate, I guess you'd say, I had plenty of room for my hands and wrists in all positions, and even as you see me use it real time, it's not like they shrunk this thing so much to a point where they made it useless. All in all, it's a good trade-off. If you purchase the optional VESA mount adapter, it has holes to mount to a tripod or just about any arm that you would use for displays. That's not why I got mine though, I had a different idea. First things first, nothing too complicated about this. It comes with 4 screws that you're going to want to keep. They're a little thicker than your standard VESA mount screws. Use the included Allen key to unscrew them and stick them off to the side. Now, any of you digital artists have seen these before. These are these cheap kind of pen display stands that you could either get on Amazon or that might have come with one of your old tablets. You see where I'm going with this? If this works, this is going to give me almost an unlimited amount of positions. First thing I had to do is the default holes were a little too thin for the ones that came with the adapter. I just took a drill bit to them and made them a little wider, ensuring standard VESA mount screws would still fit through them without falling out. Once again, using the original screws, I'm going to mount this stand to the back of the VESA mount adapter. Now when attached to the VESA mount stand, either way, the Sketchboard logo faces out. You'll press the top button down, and it should slide right in without forcing it. We'll give this stand a little crank, see if it's holding tight, and now let me show you what we did here. Grabbing it awkwardly from the back so you guys could see it, my Sketchboard Pro has almost unlimited angles, just adding now to the versatility. Plus, Since this thing is so small, I could easily slip it into a laptop bag and have it travel with me. The one thing with a display arm, which is no fault of Sketchboard Pro, is it could have the same problem as a pen display. It could wobble. This alleviates all those problems because the edge of the Sketchboard Pro is against your desk. For tripod mounting, I'm using the really cheap tripod. You should probably use something more like this. However, to demonstrate, I'll mount this to this tripod and show how basically you have a standing easel anywhere you go. Some of these tripods are so portable now, they easily fit into a bag. You just have to deal with the wobble. On the beefier ones though, this is less of a problem. It expands the functionality in my opinion. With the right tripod, you could even use it with a certain height sitting on the couch. Someone in the comments asked me about my tank build, so I decided to test it. It does indeed work. I thought that it might slide a little bit, so what I did is I grabbed some of this material you get at Home Depot to throw in drawers and stuff like that, shelving paper or whatever it is. At first I wrapped the legs in it, which could work, but they were falling out and it was a pain in the neck. The solution that I found that worked is to line it across the bottom, just so it doesn't slide on you as you put pressure on it. In my case, the VESA mount in the stand has now replaced this option for me. I had a great experience with the Sketchboard Pro 2, and I'm glad I made the purchase. If you're worried about buying a board that'll go out of date, don't be. The Sketchboard Pro is designed with longevity in mind. There's an upgrade kit available that lets you swap out the magnetic cradle as iPad sizes evolve. I'm using the dedicated 13-inch M4 version for this review, and everything fits perfectly, but you just have to make sure you order the right model for your device. In terms of reputation, Sketchboard has built its name on listening to artists and actually implementing what they ask for. This isn't a mass-produced accessory trying to cover the basics. It's made by artists, for artists, and it shows. They've absolutely nailed the traditional drawing board feel, but for iPad. So should you upgrade? I'll be honest, I'm not someone who just upgrades for the sake of upgrading. I could have just bought the 13-inch cradle for my Sketchboard Pro 1 and kept using it just fine. It's not like I was having any problems, but for those who don't already own a Sketchboard, version 2 is a no-brainer. Existing Pro 1 users? If your board's working for you, this won't radically change your workflow, but the new VESA mount option alone might be worth a jump if you want more flexibility in your workspace setup. Add in the magnetic legs, easier charging access, and better portability, and yeah, it's a compelling upgrade if your budget allows it. And hey, it even comes in white if that's your deal. Bottom line, if you draw for long sessions on iPad, you already know how important comfort and ergonomics are. The Sketchboard Pro delivers that, plus versatility, future-proofing, and real-world improvements that came straight from the community feedback. I'll leave links below to where you get a Sketchboard Pro 2 for yourself, as well as everything else I use in my digital art workflow. If you've got questions or want to share your own experience with the board, drop me a comment below, it helps the algorithm. If this helped you out, give it a like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you won't miss anything. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.